YouTube, what's going on? My name is Argon. Welcome back to some Fortnite informational, instructional, and conversational type content. Today, I got the follow-up video to the big debate that I started yesterday, the whole thing about controller versus keyboard. Yes, I had to do a nice little video talking about why controllers are better than keyboard and mouse when it comes to Fortnite Battle Royale and possibly other games. But I obviously had to make a follow-up to that to explain the other side of the coin, so a lot of you didn't get too triggered because I had to make a pretty compelling argument as to why controller was better than keyboard and mouse. Of course, we're going to talk about the other side of things, why keyboard and mouse is better than controller. However, before we do that, of course, I got to remind you guys that we do a giveaway on the channel every single month. For some free V-Bucks, I pick the most active person on the channel, and I give them some free V-Bucks every single month. And the way that you are the most active person on the channel, make sure you subscribe, make sure you turn on notification, make sure you're commenting on all the videos. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want, all the social media down below. Also, the more active you are, the more likely I'm going to know your name, and the more likely you are to win some V-Bucks. You can win more than once, so don't give up, even if you've won already. But that's it for that. Guys, we're going to talk about, of course, now why keyboard and mouse is better than controller. It should be, most of you probably walked into a video hearing a debate of controller versus keyboard and mouse. Probably expected the whole argument about keyboard and mouse to be better than controller. That was probably what you expected to hear. Hopefully you watched yesterday's video. Again, check it out if you did not. If you did, then maybe you're swinging on both sides of the fence. You're not exactly sure where you land. Just depends most likely on what you end up using. Personally, if you've used both, you probably agree with me. Now we're going to talk again, like I said, about why keyboard and mouse is better than controller, and it really comes down to accuracy and control, customization and accuracy. Now normally I would get into a discussion about PC versus console, but I really can't do that because controller is such a, you can use it on console, or I'm sorry, you can use it on PC, and you have native support for keyboard and mouse on console. So we kind of got to take the platform out of the discussion, which really does take away a lot of the benefits to the keyboard and mouse, quote unquote, because it is traditionally just a PC gaming thing. So when you go to PC versus console, it becomes a totally different discussion. In fact, PC is pretty superior to console in many aspects. I have a whole video on that regarding Call of Duty Blackout that's coming up. I meant to release it recently. I didn't have any footage of Blackout, so we're gonna wait till that game comes out and then we're gonna release that video. Then you'll hear why you should be playing on PC versus console. However, we're talking about peripherals here, input devices. We're going to be talking about keyboard and mouse versus controller. Like I said, it comes down to accuracy, responsiveness, customization, and all that. Really the biggest selling point to using keyboard and mouse is the fact that you have a mouse. Now, whenever you're playing on controller, you always have this trade-off between accuracy and response time. Depending on where you set your sensitivity, you're either going to have a low sensitivity so you could favor a more accurate shot, or you're going to have a high sensitivity so you could favor a higher reaction time or a faster build speed like in Fortnite. But very rarely do you have a person that can do both. If you are very godly accurate, like I know some of you are, so you don't have to write in the comments, you can run a high sensitivity and get the best of both worlds. Trust me when I tell you this, that's a small percentage of people. Even if you do think that you have a good accuracy at high sensitivity, you probably would have a better accuracy if you lowered your sensitivity. That's just common sense, guys. Something's moving slower, it's easier to hit. Pretty straightforward. No matter what you say, even if you are good at high sense, you'll still be better by lowering your sense. So there's always that trade-off. Now when it comes to mouse, you don't have that trade-off at all. You have that whole desk space. You're really limited by how much desk space you have. You can really make small arrangements. Most of us, when we're playing with a mouse, we set what's called the DPI down to a really low value, which is basically really reducing your sensitivity. Most mouse and keyboard players are playing at a really low sensitivity, but we flick or we shoot the mouse across the desk very quickly, and that's how you make rapid, swift moving movements. However, if you do need to make really fine, accurate movements, you can make them very slowly, very carefully with the mouse. So you really get the best of both worlds. You don't have to change sensitivity. Some mice even have the ability to change DPI with just a push of a button on your mouse. So if you really had to go from something crazy to like low, and you wanted to toggle back and forth between a low accuracy, a low sensitivity and a crazy high sensitivity for some weird reason, you just have to hit a button, just like push to talk, and you're in there, man. You could just do it that easily. You can't do that on console, or on controller. That's a huge benefit for having a mouse. It's just the ability to not have to sacrifice accuracy or responsiveness for either one or the other. There's no trade. You can have both. You just have to get good at it. The other thing, of course, is customization, guys. You don't have to be bound to anybody's controls. If they give you a control scheme and you don't like it, you can change it. Even if the game you're playing itself doesn't have the native, support for changing keybinds, which most of them do, You can do it with your computer, your keyboard software. Like if you have a Logitech keyboard like I do, if you get a gaming keyboard, of course, like the other day, when we did the controller versus keyboard discussion, we did talk about buying gaming keyboards. Most of them are going to come with a software that allow you to create your own profiles of keybinds. So you can always change keybinds on your mouse or your keyboard independently of any game that you're playing on anyway. A lot of these pro streamers for Fortnite do that. You could see it most likely if you've ever seen someone who was streaming for a while there, they were kind of hiding their keybinds for some reason. You would see the default controls on their screen. Well, really what they were doing was binding their keys external to the game in the third-party app or whatever the manufacturer of the keyboard and mouse was doing. That's what they were doing, and you can do that on any game. And so you're never, ever, ever, ever bound to whatever the game wants you to be using. You don't have that luxury with console. Now, obviously, if you're talking about games like Call of Duty and Fortnite, those controls have evolved over time. Call of Duty evolved much slower than Fortnite. Fortnite's done a really good job of updating, its control schemes over time to satisfy what people want. But at the end of the day, if there's something you don't like, you really can't do anything until recently when they added custom keybinds to Fortnite. But that's going to be a one-off game. Any other game's probably not going to be able to do that. You're probably not going to have that luxury. Like, for example, take Call of Duty Blackout. If you want to run around with Call of Duty Blackout and you want to pick up loot, it's just like the edit button in Fortnite. You have to hold square on PS4 controllers in order to pick something up, and you can't just tap and pick up. And that, a lot of people complain about that. But the game, the people that develop the game, they're limited with how many keys that they have available. Well, on console or on a keyboard, you just walk over, hit F, E, whatever button you want. You picked up some item, whatever it is you need. You don't have to hold nothing. You just tap it. Very, very simple. That right there is a huge, huge improvement over controller. The last thing I want to talk about is kind of creature comforts. So when you're using a keyboard and mouse, we're talking about playing on PC most of the time. I'm not going to really say using keyboard and mouse on console, because really that's only Fortnite that really supports that and has really gone above and beyond to make sure that people who are using keyboard and mouse are, acknowledged and taken care of in their own way. But other PC games, other games, you're not going to have native support, so we're just going to talk about PC. It's kind of cool that you don't have to put a controller down every time you want to do something on your computer. If you want to look up something, you want to check Twitter, you want to talk to chat one of your friends, whatever you're doing. I used to get really annoyed, especially as a YouTuber. If I was streaming back in the day, I'd have to put the controller down, type something on my keyboard. It gets really annoying after a while. It's much easier just to tab and do what you need to do and then go back to the game that you're playing. I love it. It's very, very convenient. I know it sounds weird, but the more you do it, the more you're going to really appreciate it, to be honest. And then the last bit about it is, I know maybe this is just me because I'm older. I got some weak joints, but you get way better posture when you're playing on PC or with a keyboard and mouse. Now, I'm gonna, like I said yesterday in yesterday's video, when I asked you just to look at your fist for a second, I want you to think about it again. Imagine yourself holding a controller. Basically, you could even just take your phone. If you're looking and you're watching this on your phone, you're probably holding your phone landscape mode. That's essentially how you would hold a controller. Just think about the position you're sitting in. Your shoulders, no matter what you do, are probably hunched over. That's if your natural position is to do that. If you're playing with a controller, you're probably leaning forward, got your hands on your knees, whatever it is that you're doing in order for you to get more comfortable and play like Nick Merck style. That's bad posture. That's going to hurt your back over time. It's going to make it harder for you to play longer. Now think about playing on a keyboard and mouse. You're sitting back, you're sitting straight up, you got your hands forward, resting on a desk. It's just way better, way healthier for you, way safer. It's not going to get you hurt over time. Not that you really should be getting hurt playing video games, but either way, it's just not going to cause you any pain, that's for sure, which you will get over time the more you do it. But that's it, that's a big deal for me. I really enjoy that. I really appreciate that. But that's my summary, guys. Why keyboard and mouse is better than controller. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below, as always. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, guys, make sure you leave a like. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe. And if you're not following me on social media, those links are down in the description below. And as always, guys, my name is Argon, and may you never die to a bush. Peace.